For decades, Burkina Faso exported more than raw materials. It exported opportunity. Not because the country lacked skilled people or abundant resources, but because much of what it produced left its borders before creating real wealth at home. Fresh mangoes were harvested and shipped abroad, only for imported mango juice to return to store shelves at a much higher price. Cotton was exported as raw fiber, then came back as finished clothing carrying foreign brands. The resources were Burkinabe, but much of the profit was made elsewhere. Now that story is beginning to change. Across Burkina Faso, a new vision is taking shape. The question is no longer, what should we import next? Instead, it's becoming, what can we produce ourselves? Supporters say this shift is driving investment in local factories, food processing, manufacturing, and agriculture, with the goal of creating jobs and keeping more value inside the country. Just outside Bobo Dioulasso, 26-year-old mechanic Salif carefully repairs a broken farming machine using locally made parts. In the past, farmers waited months for expensive replacements from overseas. Today, he believes every machine repaired locally is one less machine the country has to import. His workshop may be small, but it reflects a much bigger idea. Across the country, more young entrepreneurs, farmers, engineers, and manufacturers are trying to turn Burkina Faso's own resources into finished products instead of exporting them in raw form. For many, this is what true independence looks like, not just political freedom, but economic self-reliance. A nation where factories stay open, farms supply local industries, young people find opportunities at home, and national wealth creates prosperity for its own citizens. If this vision succeeds, Burkina Faso's transformation could become one of Africa's most important economic stories in the years ahead. Do you think processing Africa's resources within Africa is the key to lasting prosperity? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay with us for more stories shaping the continent's future. But if Burkina Faso truly wants to build its future instead of importing it, where does that journey begin? And why are so many Africans starting to believe this model could inspire a new economic path for the entire continent? For decades, many African economies followed the same pattern. They exported raw materials and imported finished products. The resources came from Africa, but the greatest profits were often made somewhere else. In Burkina Faso, farmers harvested cotton under the hot Sahel sun, yet finished clothes returned carrying foreign labels and higher prices. Trucks loaded with fresh mangoes crossed the border, only for imported mango juice to return months later. Sesame seeds were exported in bulk, while cooking oil came back in polished bottles. Tomatoes left as fresh produce and returned as processed tomato paste. The land produced the wealth, but much of the value was added outside the country. For years, many accepted this as the normal way the global economy worked. Africa would supply raw materials, while other nations handled manufacturing. But a different question has started gaining attention. If Burkina Faso can grow it, why can't Burkina Faso process it? If Burkinabe farmers produce the harvest, why shouldn't Burkinabe workers produce the finished product? That simple question has helped reshape the conversation. Instead of measuring success only by the amount exported, more people are asking how much value can remain inside the country. Because real economic transformation doesn't begin with factories. It begins with a new way of thinking. The vision is straightforward. Produce locally, process locally, create jobs locally, and keep more wealth within the nation. Of course, changing decades of economic habits is no easy task. It requires investment, skilled workers, reliable infrastructure, modern factories, and confidence in local industries. But supporters believe those foundations are slowly taking shape. In Bobo Dioulasso, one agricultural cooperative that once sold only raw mangoes is now working toward producing packaged juice, dried fruit, and fruit concentrates for regional markets. The mangoes are the same. What is changing is where the value is created. For many, that's the beginning of a different future. Not exporting opportunities, but building them at home. The transformation doesn't end in Ouagadougou. Across Burkina Faso, a new generation is preparing for a different future. In workshops, young welders spend their evenings mastering modern fabrication instead of waiting for jobs overseas. One apprentice puts it simply, "My father taught me how to repair machines. I want to build them." It's more than a career goal. It's a new mindset, a generation that wants to manufacture, innovate, and create. The same shift is happening in farming communities. Farmers are no longer seeing themselves as producers of raw crops alone. They're beginning to see themselves as the foundation of entire industries. A cotton field isn't just cotton anymore. It could supply textile mills, clothing factories, transport companies, packaging businesses, and thousands of jobs. The same idea applies to mangoes, cashews, sesame, rice, and maize. Every harvest has the potential to create an entire value chain before a single truck leaves the country. That changes the question. Instead of asking how many tons were exported, people are asking how many businesses those resources could support first. For ordinary families, that change feels personal. A woman selling tomatoes by the roadside once worried that unsold produce would spoil before the day ended. Now, with growing interest in local food processing, those same tomatoes could become tomato paste, sauces, or packaged products with a much longer shelf life. She tells her daughter, "Maybe one day we won't just sell tomatoes. Maybe we'll sell our own brand." It's a simple dream, but it represents something much bigger. Hope is no longer just about getting through today. It's about building tomorrow. Young people are also beginning to rethink their future. For years, many believed success meant leaving, moving to bigger cities, neighboring countries, or Europe. Today, more are exploring opportunities at home through engineering, food processing, agricultural technology, manufacturing, logistics, construction, and business. The question is no longer, where can I find an opportunity? It's becoming, how can I create one? Across Africa, the conversation itself is evolving. Development is no longer being discussed only in terms of foreign aid or loans. More young Africans are talking about innovation, production, industrialization, and adding value to their own resources. The challenges remain, but for many, the future is no longer about exporting potential. It's about building prosperity where it begins. Burkina Faso still faces major challenges. Building a stronger industrial economy requires reliable electricity, better roads, investment, skilled workers, and lasting security. None of these changes happen overnight, but every transformation begins with a different way of thinking. Today, Burkina Faso is asking a new question. What can we build ourselves? That question is attracting attention across Africa. Some see a country trying to strengthen local industries. Others see a bold experiment in economic independence. And many believe that if it succeeds, it could inspire similar efforts across the continent. The road ahead will depend on smart investments, good governance, quality education, regional trade, private businesses, and strong partnerships. But one thing is already becoming clear. The conversation is changing. Not long ago, success meant importing more products from abroad. Today, more people believe success means producing competitive products at home. That shift may seem small, but over time it can transform an entire economy. One factory creates demand for suppliers. Suppliers create transport businesses. Transport companies need warehouses. Warehouses support retailers. Retailers buy more from local farmers. One investment can trigger thousands of new opportunities far beyond the factory itself. That is why so many Africans are talking about industrialization with renewed hope. They are not simply celebrating new buildings. They are celebrating the possibility of better jobs, stronger businesses, higher incomes, and brighter futures for the next generation. But factories alone cannot transform a nation. Without strong agriculture, reliable supply chains, and productive farmers, even the biggest industrial plans will struggle to succeed. That brings us to perhaps the most important question of all. What happens when agriculture is no longer viewed as just farming, but as the engine driving an entire industrial revolution? For years, Burkina Faso measured agriculture by one number: how many tons were harvested. Today, a different vision is beginning to take shape, one that measures success by how much value those harvests can create before they ever leave the country. The most important question is no longer how much Burkina Faso can grow. It is how much Burkina Faso can create from what it grows. That single shift changes everything. A cotton field is no longer just a source of raw fiber. It can become thread, fabric, clothing, and finished products proudly carrying the label "Made in Burkina Faso." A basket of mangoes is no longer just fruit waiting to be exported. It can become juice, dried fruit, natural concentrates, and products that remain on supermarket shelves long after the harvest season ends. Sesame can become cooking oil. Cashews can be processed, packaged, and branded. Tomatoes can become paste and sauces with far greater value than fresh produce alone. Every stage of processing creates something more valuable than the one before it. More importantly, every stage creates jobs that stay inside the country. That is the true meaning of industrial agriculture. It is not simply about growing more, it is about creating more value. Across Burkina Faso, farmers are beginning to see themselves differently. They are no longer the final step in production. They are the first link in an entire industrial chain. As one cooperative leader puts it, "For years we sold our harvest. Now we want to sell our work." Those words reflect a powerful idea. A nation's greatest wealth is not only found in the resources it exports, but in the products its people create before those resources ever leave the country. That vision is bringing farmers, engineers, transport companies, manufacturers, and entrepreneurs together in ways that were once uncommon. A food processing factory buys crops from nearby villages. Transport companies deliver the harvest. Packaging businesses prepare the products for market. Retailers stock the shelves. Young graduates manage operations. Mechanics maintain the machinery. Electricians install new equipment. One harvest that once supported a single farmer can now create opportunities for hundreds of people. That is how local industries grow, not all at once, but one factory, one business, and one community at a time. The change is also reaching classrooms. Students who once dreamed only of office jobs are now exploring careers in engineering, food technology, agribusiness, industrial design, manufacturing, and logistics. Schools are seeing greater interest in practical skills that directly support local industries. Parents are noticing the difference too. For years, many believed success meant leaving home to find work abroad. Today, more families are beginning to imagine a different future, one where the best opportunities are built at home, not searched for somewhere else. Today, more families are beginning to believe their children can build successful lives without leaving Burkina Faso. That change in mindset may become one of the country's greatest strengths. A nation doesn't just keep its workforce, it keeps its talent, its ambition, and its future. Across West Africa, people are paying attention. Entrepreneurs in neighboring countries are asking new questions. Could more crops be processed before export? Could African industries work together instead of competing only as suppliers of raw materials? Could regional businesses build stronger supply chains within the continent? Every country has its own challenges, resources, and priorities. But one idea is gaining momentum: creating more value at home instead of exporting it abroad. That vision is inspiring many young Africans. A university student in Ouagadougou put it this way: "My grandfather grew food. My father sold food. Maybe my generation will build the factories that process it." 3 generations, 3 different dreams, one shared future. The conversation around trade is changing as well. The goal is no longer simply to import less. The goal is to produce more, compete through quality, develop skilled workers, and create products that neighboring countries want to buy. Real economic independence isn't built by closing doors. It's built by opening new industries. When African countries trade more finished products instead of only raw materials, more wealth stays within African economies. That means stronger businesses, more jobs, greater resilience during global supply disruptions, and new opportunities for future generations. Perhaps the most valuable resource of all is confidence. Confidence encourages entrepreneurs to invest. It gives young people the courage to learn technical skills. It gives families hope that tomorrow can be better than today. In many ways, confidence becomes a form of economic capital. Of course, no transformation comes without challenges. Industrial growth requires financing, reliable electricity, modern infrastructure, efficient transport, skilled workers, private investment, and strong regional cooperation. These are long-term goals that no country achieves overnight. Success will depend on consistent policies, innovation, entrepreneurship, and the determination of millions of ordinary citizens. History often shows that lasting economic change begins long before it appears in official statistics. It starts when a nation changes the direction of its thinking. That may be the real story unfolding in Burkina Faso. It is not only about building factories, it is about building capability. It is not only about replacing imports, it is about creating industries. It is not only about increasing production, it is about expanding opportunity. As another farming season comes to an end, Salif closes the workshop where we first met him. The machine he repaired that morning is already back in the fields. Nearby, a group of young apprentices continues practicing their welding skills. They laugh, make mistakes, learn, and try again. Watching them, Salif smiles and says, "When I was their age, I hoped someone would give me a job. Now I hope they build businesses that give jobs to others." Perhaps that is the clearest sign of real change. A country begins to transform the moment its people stop asking, "Who will build our future?" and start asking, "What can we build together?" Perhaps this is the true meaning of economic sovereignty. Not isolation, not confrontation, but confidence. The confidence to use a nation's own talent, resources, and determination to create greater prosperity for its own people while remaining connected to the rest of the world. Whether Burkina Faso ultimately becomes a model for other African countries is something only time will reveal. But one thing is already clear. Across the continent, more people are beginning to believe that local industry is no longer an impossible dream. It is a realistic path toward long-term development. And perhaps the biggest transformation is not taking place inside government offices. It is happening in workshops where young artisans are learning new skills, in classrooms where students are choosing engineering over dependence, on farms where harvests are being seen as the foundation of industries, inside factories where raw materials are becoming finished products, and in the minds of millions of young Africans who are beginning to believe that the future doesn't have to be imported, it can be built at home. That change in mindset may prove to be the most valuable resource of all, because every great nation is built not only by its natural resources, but by the confidence of its people to create, innovate, and compete. If Burkina Faso succeeds in turning that confidence into lasting industries, it may inspire a new generation of African economies to do the same. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Before you go, here's one final question. If your country could build one industry that would transform its future for generations, what would it be and why? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.